Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Stampede Race Cast. I'm your host, Donald Kight, joined by Mr. BUTTDART. We have our guests, Taco Dog 29 and Nightmare Nick 44 with us. How are you guys today?
I'm doing pretty fine.
All right. So Nick Norris, it is his 22nd birthday today. This is July 29th. It is currently 8 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast here. Nick, you have a racing background before you became the pace car driver in SRL. You want to tell us about it?
Well, at first I was just like, before I raced, or before I started to do racing, I just kind of figured like, yeah, I got something to do and hang out more with my friends. And so I decided to join in the racing thing, and yeah, and I become a nationwide series driver.
And we understand you have a 2012 National Tour Game Racing National Series Championship.
That's right. And I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised that I've gotten a champion with just 2 wins.
And I'm actually the driver who was behind you when you got those 2 wins.
Yeah. I can't believe that, but that was so cool, though.
So what do you think of being the pace car driver now in SRL? You gave up the steering wheel to race, and you decided to become and pace the field for everybody.
I'm enjoying being the pace car driver. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I decided to be the pace car for this year. Sorry if I stutter, but yeah. Yeah, the reason I started for doing it this year is at first I thought of wanted to get back into racing, but then since it's been so long, like, who knows? I think it's like I don't know, I forgot how long it was that I've retired, but when I decided to get back into racing, but I had second thoughts, like, since I haven't raced, I might not have that much experience, or I need to get back into practice. So I just didn't want to race yet. So I just wanted to do something else, like while in the league, while I'm also hanging out with my friends. So I decided to become the pace car driver for this season.
Right on. We also understand that you originally had plans to come in driving the number 7 Tax Slayer Chevrolet this season on restrictor plates only because you love racing those tracks. But the restrictor plates were actually removed from the schedule. We'll get to that topic at a later point. All right, BUTTDART, do you have any questions for Nick Norris here?
How's it feel to be 22?
It's awesome, yeah. I just thought it was just really awesome since it is my 22nd birthday, and thought it was really cool for letting me to drive the 22 car for the pace car today. I thought it was really cool, so thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Today was actually our test session for tomorrow night's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Looks like we were able to test out the drivers for 1.5-mile quad ovals, and Abyssian Soldier, Fixed Lizard 9, and Master Killer 737 actually made the cut and will be racing tomorrow night. So, yeah, Nick, happy birthday. Glad that you 22, being a pace car driver in SRL. Welcome to the 22 age.
Well, thank you, buddy. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
All right, Taco, Mr. Glotto Cat. You have actually been in the points lead in your first ever season racing in a league, period, since Auto Club, which was our 3rd race of the season, I believe.
Sir.
Now, you want to tell us about your success inside the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Fusion?
Well, I've actually thought I wasn't going to do that good in my first season league racing, but turns out I've done pretty well for myself. First time on the circuit, I thought I would have a win wrapped up, at Atlanta, but less than 35 laps to go, the win was stripped away from me by my teammate, Donald Kight.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so far it's been a big pleasure having you as a teammate this season. I've had a lot of good teammates over the years, and one of them in particular, Overdrive, otherwise known as Brandon Scott. He should be joining us in 2017. Brandon, if you're watching, it's good to hear from you. I hope to hear from you some more pretty soon. Miss you being on the team. Hopefully when Team Penske gets a third car added, maybe we can pick you up. So, Taco, do you have any races in particular this year that stand out to you as a driver? Do you, what was your most successful race for you that could help you, stay in the points lead?
Auto Club was a big help getting the win there. More of the quad oval tracks, which we'll be racing at tomorrow night, I seem to do pretty well at the 1.5 miles, which I think I can maybe pull a win off tomorrow night.
That'd be good for Team Penske. Team Penske is actually leading the team points so far this season, and Roush Fenway, I believe, is right behind them.
And we've been doing some practice runs at Michigan, and I think I have a pretty good car for that track as well.
And BUTTDART, do you have any questions for our points leader, Taco Dog 29?
I want to hear about this beef between you and this Byzantine soldier that is currently driving the 21 car.
Well, you see, it's like a Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth thing. He just never wants to give me room. He could pick another line to drive, and he'd just rather run over top of me. I don't know. He don't like Joey Logano or whatnot, but it's not Joey driving the car, it's me. So,
right on.
Hopefully he pull his head out of his butt and figure out what's going on. If not, he has a rude awakening coming.
Yeah, just, was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago at Kansas Motor Speedway, battling for the lead on the final lap, Abyssian Soldier actually put the 22 car of Taco Dog 29 in the wall coming off of turn 4 to take the win, and leaving the 22 to spin through the infield to get third ultimately to finish the race. A good points day, but obviously a really, heartbreaker that the win was taken away like that.
Yeah, he could have easily drive around the outside of me. He had a way faster car than me, but he decided to run me over instead.
All right, well, that's it for the interviews for our guests. Now, hope you guys stick around because we got some topics to talk about, because this is the first episode of Stampede Race Cast, and we've missed a lot. We wanted to start this before the season started, so we got a little bit of catching up here to do. So I guess first, let's talk about Beamish Fern 955. He's actually the first driver in SRL to fight his way to the top. He actually started out in a part-time car, made a name for himself in SRL, and the best finish so far for him is third place, and actually managed to get a full-time ride at Roush Fenway Racing in the Cheez-It 6 car. BUTTDART, why don't you talk about your driver?
Beamish, I liked his attitude, He's a nice guy. He just wanted to race. I like that. We're going to work on his speed a little bit. He had a really good car at Texas. We were running 1-2. He had a little lag issue. Cost him second place finish there. And he just come off top 5 at Dover. So, you look out for the 6 car.
Watch out for the 6 car for sure. Taco, Nick, do you guys have anything to say about Beamish? Are you guys friends with him off track? What do you guys, think of him racing with him?
I've just met Beamish in this league, and I actually like him a lot. I hope he ends up pulling off a win. I root for Beamish every race.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed with Beamish, I don't think I've ever seen him crash into anybody. I know he got into it with you a little bit at Atlanta at the beginning of the season, but other than that, I haven't heard anything else. No complaints about him anywhere.
I think he's a cool dude, though. Yeah.
He seems to be making a pretty good name for himself. So, we've had some successful races. We've had some bad races, and due to the bad races, we've had improvements. Are there any races you guys thought that stood out to you that were really bad, or you just didn't enjoy so far this season? Like any races that are just garbage, pretty much.
I wasn't too happy with Texas, the way it turned out with a lot of lag issues and stuff like that, but got better over time.
We're talking about any races that we had in the previous pass?
Yep, any races this season in SRL.
There's, I believe it was at the Auto Club, because we were having a lot of issues on that race. And, like, what's been going on, if I remember correctly, is, like, I think everybody's, like, been having, like, bad internet connection issues, like, with a lag or something, but then the host ended up, like, lagging out somehow. So I'm, like, unexpectedly I was left in charge, which I wasn't really prepared for it, but yeah, I just tried my best, and I've had to communicate with Donnie, or Donald Kight, or aka Graboid, by talking to him through Messenger. So not only I've had Turtle Beach headsets on my head, I had to have, like, lift up one off of my head and place a Bluetooth underneath one of the earmuffs or whatever the Turtle Beach is. But sometimes I usually just leave that one earpiece up right above my ear so I can have clear space for my head or for my earpiece or something. And it was also kind of difficult, like, talking to, like, either Donnie or the rest of the guys in the race, because I had to keep muting either my Bluetooth or the headset, and I had to explain every single thing what's been going on, like who caused the wreck and the cautions, and like where are they at now, and who else has been lagging out, and that race. I mean, like, it started, like, I think it just started, like, all right for how long, I forgot how long at first, but then, yeah, things just have gone very downhill from there. And so, yeah, I'm hoping some point in the future of this, I just hope we don't occur whatever the word is, like,
run into that situation again.
Yeah, I just don't want to deal with that situation ever again. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we've made some improvements in SRL to avoid having a situation similar to that again, now that we have officials in the league instead of me just the only one to run it. So, BUTTDART, what about you? Do you have any races that stood out to you that were just awful?
Well, we'll go with the first race. We had a full lobby at Daytona, and did not pan out, which ended up us removing restrictor plates altogether.
Yeah, restrictor plates were removed from Stampede Racing schedule. We had the original plan to run a full NASCAR schedule, and when crap hit the fan at Daytona, we decided with the lag and the surging that happens in the restrictor plate races, we decided it'd be best to just cut those from the schedule this season, because we do run full damage everywhere. We do not turn damage off at all. So, and if somebody like is surging backwards into someone else's car and screws up their entire race because of rubber banding, then that would just be awful for that driver. So ultimately, the restrictor plates were removed, and we do plan on running restrictor plates in 2017 on NASCAR Heat Evolution. Our first race set to be at the Daytona Unlimited, or the Stampede Racing Unlimited, and we don't know what we're going to call it. But yeah, if I'd have to choose a bad race for myself, because I liked Atlanta, even though only 4 guys finished. And I wasn't there at Auto Club, and I didn't finish Texas, so I'm going to have to go with Richmond. You guys remember Richmond? You know, the caution fest we had, like 15, 16 cautions.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And, the bubble at the short tracks, particularly Martinsville and Richmond, because you're so hard on the brakes there, the bubble is just so big, almost an entire car length size of the bubble. I almost got screwed out of that race because of a bubble, but luckily I just barely squeezed by with being able to fix the damage. Well, on that segue, that will take us right into our improvements made in SRL. BUTTDART, is there any improvements that actually stand out to you that have been made so far this season to help the racing be better?
The removal of the black flags helped a lot. They cut out a bunch of lag issues, and
yeah, I agree with that.
I think since we removed the black flags about a month ago, we've only had a total of 4 drivers flag out of an event since then. Removing the black flags have been very helpful.
How many people have flagged out with the black flags on?
Almost half the lobby every race.
it's the way it works. It only took one person to speed, and then it would just cause chaos throughout the lobby.
Yeah, the way we actually do it now, we actually park our pace car at the entrance of pit road, facing to where people come through the entrance. And as long as your car is slowed down by the time you get to the pace car, it's not a penalty. But if it's still significantly obvious that you are trying to slow down, the AI is trying to slow the car down when you pass the pace car, then you get a drive-through penalty. So you don't have to go in at speed. You can actually go in a little bit quicker now, but we do still give out penalties if you go in too fast. And the reason we added a pace car is because I was hosting Daytona, and I actually got turned head-on into the wall, blew the engine, and for some reason, if the host DNFs from the race or lags out or something, the whole lobby turns into a mess. So I decided, if I'm racing in the event, I cannot host the race because there's a good chance I'm going to crash out. Not saying I'm going to wreck every week, but there's an opportunity that I can wreck out of the race, and it would just crash the entire lobby. So I asked Nick if he would become our pace car driver, so he actually hosts the races.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it was your idea that asked me to become the pace car driver, and I decided to, yes, I would like to be the pace car driver since I found out that the restrictor plates have been removed.
What about you, Taco? What is your favorite improvement made so far this season?
I believe I like where the black flags are turned off, where it causes less lag and people lag out of the lobby.
Yeah, so far that seems to be a favorite. The fact that black flags are turned off. Everyone was really excited when that happened. What about you, Nick? Do you have any improvements made? I know you're not actually in the races. You're just a pace car, but is there anything that you particularly like as an improvement?
Well, there's this one. I'm not actually, like, I haven't actually really complained about it, but, like, it's just, like, the pace flaps. Like, I actually think it's a cool idea that, like, at some point at the beginning of the races, that if nobody gets lapped, like, they just cut down the pace laps short. Instead of, like, having, like, doing 3 pace laps, you just only do 2. Like, 1 normal round, or, like, 1 lap to go, just go all the way around in the or actually, my mistake. The first pace lap is just entering the pits, or the pits are open and they're allowed to pit. And then the second time around, like, they line up and take off. But then, whenever someone's lapped down, we just add an extra lap for the first lap, the lead drivers and the lucky dog car go in that first round. And then the second round, the lap down cars go in, and third time they ready up and get ready to go. So, I mean, yeah, I actually kind of like that. I actually like that new adjustment.
Yeah, a lot of people also enjoyed that improvement made. My favorite improvement A lot of people aren't fans of it, but I like the lag out system we came up with to where, you know, if somebody has a moderate NAT type or strict, and they lose another driver, then the first caution after the halfway mark of the race, that moderate or strict connected driver will have to back out of the event if he is behind the open NAT type driver if he were to lose an open NAT type driver. There's a lot of information that, it's pretty hard for the drivers to understand, but over time, I'm sure everyone will understand it better. So now we'll talk about our favorite races of the season. Butt Dart, you get to start off with this.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with Dover. I mean,
the closest finish in SRL history so far was like a 0.06 hundredths of a second, basically, of a finish between me and you coming to the start-finish line. Going through 3 and 4, I actually got bumped, moved up a lane, which is, that's racing. And coming off of turn 4, we connected with each other and basically had a 2003 Darlington finish?
Yeah, it was a Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was like so excited in that situation. I knew how good that finish was going to be. That's probably the best finish outside of the Pepsi Cup Series Championship that I ran for a few months ago, or about a month and a half, or whatever it was. So, Taco, what about you? Do you have a favorite race so far of the year?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Auto Club, so.
Everyone's demise.
I had to work. I think we worked on a setup for that whole week trying to figure out the cars, how we could be better through the turns without bottoming out, which we can't give that secret away. We thought we'd be good on the short runs, but it ended up being a long run car. I really liked the long run because we wasn't having.
Yeah, it was a real shame that I wasn't able to start that event. I actually lost a few drivers before we took the green flag. I think it was our third time trying to reset the lobby, so I went ahead and just parked off to the side and let everyone do their thing. And Nick, do you have any favorite races so far this year?
Well, does actual races test sessions don't count, do they?
No, just the ones that we run on Saturday.
To be completely honest, well, there was just one race. I forgot where it was. I think we only had 2 or 3 cautions, but it was even though I didn't race this season, but I did how. Was that Atlanta, the one we mostly had a green run?
We had Atlanta where we had 2 cautions, and Dover we had 2 cautions.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching. Yeah, I enjoyed that because I just enjoyed watching y'all kept racing it was just good green runs.
I know there was at one point in the season, it was actually at Texas Motor Speedway when we had a full lobby of drivers, so 15 drivers in our 1 pace car. And you said you actually enjoyed sitting in turn 1 and watching the entire pack drive by.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was cool.
So that'll conclude today's episode of Stampede Race Cast. Hopefully every one of you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give us a like. If you didn't like it, tell us why in the comment section and subscribe.